Before we begin today, I need to amend a few mistakes from my last video that were kind of bad. There was a lot of info dropped in the last video, so I kind of expected there to be a couple of mistakes in there no matter how much research I did, but now that I know what they are, it's very worth mentioning what they were before we get too deep into things. First off, that shop in Colony 6 where I bought that pretty good equipment for Fiora, believe it or not, they have pretty good equipment for your other characters as well, not just her. The Rondine series of equipment all have slots, and this is one of the best equipment series you can have at this point. Why did I gloss over this and not even give it a mention? Well, just from other playthroughs, I remembered having better equipment than it at this point. I don't know if I just got lucky with the item drops or I was doing different side quests than what I'm doing in the LP. I don't know, but I did, and sure enough, I really did have better equipment than it on most of my character slots, but the point still stands that it would have helped me if I bought the arm and leg equipment from it, because most of my characters were seeing a buff from that even after updating my equipment. Second is a bit more long-running. I have had a critical up gem on Shulk for some time now, and recently I've been mounting it with a weapon power gem, which that boosts the chance of activation for gems that you have equipped to your weapon. You can see how I would have thought that this would have given me more critical hits, but turns out weapon power does not affect critical up. It's pretty much the one gem that isn't affected by it that's like that. So you can probably see how I thought that. So I don't really think I'm too much to blame for that one, but sure enough, it does not boost it. Third is the Minato Rudra actually isn't too bad of a weapon. Because of that auto-attack damage glitch that I mentioned back in Agniratha, due to its small damage range, it can be more effective than Minato Agni in certain situations, read most situations. The reason why I didn't notice this was just that I was really underwhelmed by Minato Rudra's stats on my first playthrough, and I didn't know about the glitch back then, and honestly, I just never really put two and two together that, wait a minute, if there's a glitch with that, that makes Minato Rudra actually pretty reliable, because Minato Agni is unable to reach its maximum damage. In fact, it wouldn't even come close without attack stability gems. So I would suggest that if you're going to use Agni, equip attack stability. If you're going to use Rudra, go for all-out damage. That being said, note that these videos are recorded a few days in advance, so I had more recorded than just this before you guys could inform me of these things. So I really thank you for doing it, and I'm sorry, but you're going to see my characters equipped the way they were for a good few more episodes. But on with the video. Hey everybody, it's Chugga Conroy. Welcome back to more Xenoblade Chronicles. Last time, we entered the Bionis interior once again and got Shulk a brand new weapon. Two new weapons, in fact, but no one cares about that other one because this one's red, damn it. We also met Lorithia here at the entrance, and she taunted us saying that she had something she wished to show us up in the Bionis heart. This time, that is where we are headed. Starting off in the Bionis interior, there are many different connecting pathways that just go everywhere. It can be kind of overwhelming when you first arrive. But the first pathway I want to go down is this one right here, because at the top of it is a heart-to-heart. To view it, we need maximum affinity between Fiora and Sharla. And if I open up the affinity chart, believe it or not, somehow I don't have max affinity between any two members of the party. Which is odd because I've had playthroughs before where Shulk and Rein got to max affinity before we were even done with the Ether Mines. I have no idea how I avoided it, but I'm kind of glad we did because our affinity is really evenly distributed. It's all blue and white with the exception of Fiora and Rein not getting along as well as the rest. But then again, with Rein messing up as often as he does and how often Fiora has to clean up after him, I can't really blame her for feeling that way. I like how I don't even take Rein's side of things into consideration. But either way, to get around this problem, I'm going to be going all out with gifting. Basically, I'm going to gift tons of items between Fiora and Sharla to raise their affinity up to max so that we can view this one right away. Be right back. Oh my gee golly something or other. I don't even have words. It's beautiful to see that pop up on screen. That should mean that yes indeed, we have maximum affinity. How many Xenoblade players can say their first pink affinity bond was between Sharla and Fiora? I don't think very many. Let's get to viewing this damn heart-to-heart. That took over an hour of gifting items to get. Ugh. Fiora's body. This better be good. This better be the most adorable bonding moment I have seen in decades. Hey Fiora, I wanted to ask you something. What is it, Sharla? Ask away. Your new body. It's not malfunctioning, is it? What? It's just, you don't look like you're doing so well. Sorry, is it that obvious? I knew it, so you are experiencing some malfunctions. I didn't mention before, but Linata is teaching me Machina anatomy. Why do you need to know that? Because when this is all over, I'm going to quit the Defense Force and become a doctor. People are returning to Colony 6. They'll need a doctor. Wow, that's amazing! I know that without Maintenance Monado, your energy is depleted. You only have a small reserve left now. Apparently so. How can you be so laid back about this? You should be back in Linata's infirmary, not here doing this. You're right, I should go. Good, I'm glad you agree. But I won't, Charla. I'm grateful for your concern, but I can't leave now. You have to, Fiora. I've made up my mind. I will fight to the end, and when the end comes, I'll be with Shulk. Fiora? Charla, please, this is my decision. Well, I can't argue with that, but I haven't given up hope, okay? I'll do everything in my power to make you right again. I promise, Fiora. I know you will. Thank you, Charla, for everything. I have to admit, I was not disappointed. Believe it or not, that was my first time viewing that heart-to-heart. Confession time. I've never actually had the patience to raise affinity to maximum level with every possible combination of characters, and as such, I have never viewed every single heart-to-heart. There's a good few that I've never seen, that being one of them. And yeah, I did like that one quite a bit. So, going out into the main area of Bionis Interior. This brings me into some other stuff. Okay, there are a lot of different enemies. That Wool Cellula can freely fly around this big open space. We have that Jelly Cellula that's Ether type. We have a Largo Cellula that is Sound type. You have basically every type of monster under the sun that you can think of, all concentrated onto some very small platforms. And up ahead, we have this Chimai Cellula. Kind of reminds me of those Arachno we saw back in Tefra Cave, but all cell-like and gross. It's kind of creepy, actually, to think about how these are single-celled organisms inside the Bionis. I mean, we knew the Bionis was big, but these things that are that much bigger than us constitute as single-celled organisms in the Bionis. I mean, you can see them as antibodies, I suppose, how they're kind of like the immune system! Thank you for breaking it when you did it, War-Off, just before I was gonna do it. Oh my god, okay. Yeah, it's not always the best, the Monado Cyclone isn't, just because you can end up in a situation where you've clearly inflicted break on it, but it just takes so long in terms of startup that you end up getting screwed. You just aren't able to, get off the topo with Cyclone before it wears off. So really, really nice whenever you have multiple break arts in the party. I'm gonna go over the days here. If I can get the instant death, that'd be really nice. Unfortunately, no. Wore off right then and there. Oh, well. Now, as we finish off this Jelly Cellula, or rather it holds on for dear life a little bit longer than I thought it would, I have to say, I am really not that big of a fan of having my inventory be full yet again. Not a fan of that, admittedly, but what I was going to say is that I'm really not the biggest fan of the Bionis interior. I know at this point it sounds weird to hear me say anything negative about this game that is as major as a, you know, big area. I mean, this is a major region of Bionis, and I'm saying that I don't like it much. Well, I think I have some good reasons for it, but first, I do want to get the positives out of the way. This is very, very different atmospherically to any place we have been, and honestly, I think visually on a technical level, it's very impressive what they were able to pull off. Just all the moving parts, everything moving above us, it really does feel alive. I think that's very impressive. Also, all of these, like, really high risen up platforms, it reminds me a lot of Aerith Sea, except, you know, without teleporters. You're just kind of walking from place to place. It makes me think of what Aerith Sea would be like if you weren't taking teleporters everywhere. That being said, though, that is about the end of it. Also, apparently Zanza really likes drinking sarsaparilla if I found it in his blood. But seriously, I don't like how there are enemies just everywhere flying around on these, like, really narrow pathways. We haven't seen it yet, but there's quite a few enemies that can inflict blowdown. What makes that so bad, though? Why is that so different from any other area that is full of enemies that inflict blowdown? I mean, there's a lot, aren't there? Well, you see how narrow these pathways are and how they have those little guardrails on them? Those don't do a good job when the enemies have blowdown, or indeed even just regular knockback, you will fall off of these pathways if you are not careful, and if you don't, your allies can. You will die an agonizing death every time you fall off of one of these narrow pathways, and there are enemies that can free fly around here. Heck, look at that Telethia up there. That huge Telethia is able to just freely fly around, and I believe it's a vision type enemy. If I could lock onto it, I could prove that. Victorious Gross? What? Victorious Gross. Okay, I'm on a bit of a negative tangent, but that is like the funniest enemy name yet. I mean, it's not my favorite enemy name. It's definitely no Dinosaurus, but man, that is Victorious Gross. Honestly, I'm not even mad that I failed to get that. No, oh no. Well, we're dealing with a unique monster, a regular enemy, and a Telethia. This is gonna be fun, and Fiora is inflicted with Confuse. Charlotte is... Okay, that's another thing. When they're inflicted with Confuse, they can indeed run off of the cliff. We're gonna be here a while. Oh, okay, yeah. That is a perfect example of what I was talking about. Imagine being on a narrow pathway because one of those wool cellula can freely fly around, and getting hit by that when you're about to win a fight. It is the worst feeling. A tip that I can suggest to get around this problem, and also so that your treasure chests don't go, well, into the ether for all eternity, is to use the come to me command to lure your party members over near you, and once you've done that, resume fighting once the enemy is above solid ground. You do that, you won't have to worry quite as much, you'll get your treasure, all that good stuff. And I've just realized I really should switch Fiora. Charla out of the party because we have max affinity with her. I'll do that right after I open this chest, and my inventory is full of ether crystals as well. Are you serious? Man, this area just doesn't want me to like it. You know, any chances of me giving this place like a positive word or anything like that, man? It's just kind of pissing on me at this point, quite frankly. I think this place is self-aware. It doesn't want me to like it, and I'm not even done listing the reasons why I don't enjoy this place. It's a really standout thing, though, because it is the one area in Xenoblade Chronicles that I don't enjoy playing. Other things I could say. In addition to all that headache, it is that a lot of things, even though I do think the presentation is very impressive, a lot of areas do look rather similar. And viewing these pathways from, you know, lower levels and having to go up, it can be a little bit tough to see where the dead ends are and what exactly leads to what your first time. I've gotten lost here before. There have been times where, like, I've looked up and clearly thought, like, you know, oh, okay, I'm following that pathway correctly. It does go there. But things just kind of blend into each other. You can see, like, way off in the distance just how, like, light green everything is and how the pathways just kind of blend together. Yeah, it's just... Okay, I guess I shouldn't say blend together. My vision's not really, like, that bad or anything, though. But you get what I mean. It can be difficult to figure out exactly where you are going and how to get to the Bionis heart. That being said, though, unique monster once again, Officer Robusto. These names are still fantastic. Halfway through that fight, I realized I never actually did switch Charla out of the party, go figure. Frigging full inventory distracted me from what I said I was gonna do in the first place. Who do I want to switch her out for? Let's let the Hereupon in on the action. He is looking rather kingly with that. So, let's go and open up these treasure chests, see what we got. Nutritious microbes. I'm sure that's gross if you know what that actually means, but I wouldn't know. Still no level 10 art books. I know I shouldn't, like, you know, wish for them to happen every single battle, but you know what I mean. I just want them because I do have a lot of unspent AP on a lot of my characters. But, going into more reasons why I'm not really that big of a fan of this place. Aside from the navigation, aside from getting lost, aside from the ether, I don't really mean to, like, be breaking up my thoughts so much. It's just that I kind of haven't really been able to help it because there have been some important battles. The other thing is that the Collectopedia here is a pain. Like, nobody trades these items at all. And to give you an idea of just how tough it is, we have gone through a lot of the map already. We have gotten a whopping 3 items for this area's Collectopedia page. Yeah, there is a particular item called the Black Liver Bean that you're gonna need for a lot of stuff later on. No one trades that, much like a lot of the items in this area, like I just said. That one is going to be the bane of your existence, and I remembered searching hours for those things. And that brings me to another point. It's gonna be hard to say these words together in a sentence like this. I don't like this music. I think it's bland, I think it's forgettable, and even though there's some other quiet tracks like Teffer Cave and the Ether Mines, I greatly prefer both of those songs to this one. At all, and I think it's incredibly repetitive and is only made worse when you are getting lost in here, spending an eternity getting those Collectopedia items, and everything else. I think about 17 world wars just broke out in 15 different universes, accompanied by various plagues in 2 of those universes. I really don't mean to be overly negative, and I've sung very high praise of plenty of things in this game, but hopefully with all those reasons piled on top of each other, you can understand why I don't like this place that much. I'm opening the map here just to make sure we're on the right track. It seems like we are. Good. If we continue down this pathway, that'll take us near a heart-to-heart, and I would like to do 2 heart-to-hearts in one video this time around. I'm just not really sure if I'm on the right track or not. I guess that's... Man, I am just piling on the reasons here and not even really meaning to. There's also the fact that just... Well, okay. Because so many of these pathways are like on top of each other, it can be really difficult to know exactly where you are going when you are trying to fill in the map and discover all these places. Ghostly Mahatos. You know what? I will deal with this. You know, I was gonna cut this fight out, but I've realized we haven't really seen a whole lot of on-screen fighting. I mean, don't get me wrong, we have done a few fights, but the enemies in here are really cool, and the battle system really is one of the best parts of this for me. So you know what? No. We will fight this unique monster on screen. Besides, I really like this enemy. It is my favorite type of Telethia. It's known as a Gigas Telethia, and before you tell me that, wait, you didn't like this enemy when we fought against Umea back in Magna Forest, it's not that I dislike this type of Telethia at all. I dislike how you hate Umea through like the whole adventure, you want to fight her so badly, and when you finally do get to do that, she looks identical to another boss and uses the same design that a lot of regular enemies use. That is what I don't like. This is easily my favorite design for a Telethia. Just the 3 heads, the quadrupedal structure, the wings, the 2 tails, the general shape of it, the claws, everything about it. Easily one of my favorite enemy designs I've ever seen. And you might wonder, how did Umea become one of these things if it's got 3 heads? Well, she did have an ego big enough for 3 after all. But seriously, I've got to say, I am so jealous of freaking Dixon getting to ride off into the sunset on one of these things. It just... Back when we encountered Metalface in Colony 6 and we were saved by Alvis's Telethia, and it was foreshadowed that Alvis would have some kind of connection to them, I honestly thought that the direction it was going was that we were going to get to ride on these Telethia. We'd be like riding these huge dragons that would have the ability to read minds. That was what I thought it was going towards, but no, they just have remained enemies. I want to ride one, damn it. I want a Telethia as a pet, man. It'd be so cool. Anyway. Not getting on that tangent too much, you can actually do some pretty decent topple locking against this. It doesn't have topple spikes. As you can see, I've almost built up another chain attack in the time it took him to get back up, so I don't quite have an optimal party for topple locking, considering Ricky just has a chance of toppling with roly-poly, but honestly, this fight is going a lot better than I thought it would. I thought we were going to have a lot of trouble. So basically what I'm doing here is, I'm going for the Monado Purge in the chain attack, and because Fiora's got high tension, I can use Shulk's Talon Art to get a ×2 multiplier on Final Cross, so we'll do that, and then Ricky's got roly-poly. I was just kind of thinking like I could use the bitey or something else, but nah. Might as well just do that and try to get an extended topple. Unfortunately, I don't have my days there just because it takes a while to recharge. I don't really level up Shaker Edge much, if you couldn't tell, just because it doesn't... I don't know, compared to other dazes, especially Rhines, I just think it has too long of a startup, and hey, we got a Telethia Tome! I wonder what kind of magic that lets us use. I hope it has more than 25 durability points, and a... Ooh, Friezenate! It's kind of funny, I haven't really been using Friezenate for a while, but I recently re-equipped it just because I kind of wanted Ricky to have another Ether attack, so you know what? Oh wait, what? What? Oh, I need to actually use the book first, that would help. I'll admit that Friezenate is not really my favorite art that Ricky has, so I might not level it up all the way to level 10, but I do at least like it somewhat, and that really fast cooldown time, hey, It's right, it really is Freeze Innate. Wow, this is actually a very cheap art to level up, a lot cheaper than Burn Innate. I think I'll go there to level 9, yeah. Feeling really good about that. Also, while I was checking out these characters to just kind of see other things that I could do, I realized that Ricky maxed out his Cowardice skill branch last time around. I didn't realize at the time what that adorable randomness achievement was because I was just too busy laughing about it. So, yeah, I wasted a little bit of AP. I want to put on Vivacity, or Vivacity? Vivacity? I don't know. I feel like back when we got Ricky, I said the exact same thing where I was trying to figure out how to pronounce it, and I think I came out with Vivacity. But either way, that Telethia led us right to the heart-to-heart that I wanted to view, so that worked out very nicely, actually. Right as I'm complaining about getting lost, this happens. So to view this... what? Oh, Melia and Ricky need max achievement. For some reason I thought it was Shulk and Ricky, but no, I'm thinking of a heart-to-heart that's on the Fallen Arm of all places that we haven't viewed. So yeah, we need to get max affinity between Melia and Ricky, and considering how much it took to get that last time between Charlotte and Fiora... Okay, to be fair, I think Melia and Ricky have just been used in conjunction a lot more. I mean, Charlotte and Fiora had blue affinity when I was starting to try to get them to pink earlier in this video. Melia and Ricky are at least white, and I'm confident that they're at least close to pink. In this incredibly awkward cutaway to Colony 6, have I got good news for you. Ricky is by far the easiest character to build affinity with. Not only is he the jack of all trades, meaning that you can use him in lots of different parties, thus meaning he'll see a lot of action in battle, but he also builds up chain attacks really easily because of Happy Happy, which boosts affinity as well. Not only that, but if you have completed the side quest Looking for Freedom with Makrish in Colony 6, or rather I think it is actually Nappa Rick that gives it to you, Nappa Rick will permanently move into Colony 6. Should he do this, you can trade with him to get the Rubber Mantis. This item gives insane levels of affinity when it is gifted to Ricky. And the best part is, you don't require any affinity with Colony 6 in order to get this trade. Nappa Rick trades it no matter what. It's great. We can now view kind words. Ricky has a lot of those. He's just kind of tactless in execution a lot of the time. He means well, though, I swear. Melly, cheer up, Melly! Oh, Ricky, it's you. Why are you looking at me like that? Do not be worried. But, Melly have frowny, frown face! You've seen right through me. I was thinking about my father and brother. It still hurts. Melly's daddy pawn great birdman, and brother pawn too. Ricky liked very much. You did you? That is sweet of you, Ricky. I am proud of them too, as a daughter and a sister. I remember them both fondly. Something wrong, Ricky? Ricky very sad. He failed at help Melly's family. Big hero upon failure. That is simply not true. This is not like you, Ricky. Where is that famous Heropon spirit I know so well? It get lost. Maybe Ricky drop it somewhere. You should not let this bother you to such an extent. Life is all about learning to come to terms with things. As I have with the passing of my father and brother. Melly strong bird lady. Ricky want to be like Melly. Glad to have my Heropon back. I was wondering where he'd gone. Ricky stop moaning from now. Ricky be there for Melly as warrior and friend. And I appreciate it, Ricky. Thank you. I concur, Ricky. I too aspire to be just like Melia. She's a very strong person, very strong-willed, and I think that she is just so admirable because she is able to say things like she just did. I think one can very easily relate to and even look up to Melia, and that's part of the reason why I like her so much. But that is all for now. We climbed almost all the way to the top of the Bionis interior. We viewed not one, but two really touching heart-to-hearts on the way up here, and I have not one, but two pink affinity links that are not Shulk and Rhine. In fact, I still don't have pink affinity between those two. I know, quite the achievement. Next time on Xenoblade Chronicles, we enter the heart of the Bionis. See you guys then.